Well, folks, here again for the weekly forecast. And during this last week, we dealt with several impulses of energy moving out of the western U.S. trough that moved across our region and strengthened as they moved to the east of us. So for most of eastern Nebraska on Monday and Tuesday, we dealt with several rounds of light freezing precipitation, primarily in the form of freezing rain and freezing mist. But as you got closer to this North Dakota or South Dakota border, we had heavier snowfall and local accumulations up to 4 to 5 inches were reported in isolated locations, but generally 1 to 2 inches was a favor. And then of course we had the other system come through on Thursday and the one that we're dealing with today. So we've been in an active weather pattern, and it looks like that's going to continue into the foreseeable future. So as we go to the upper air models, the first thing I'll draw your attention to is a system that's currently impacting us today. The energy now is just to the southeast of the state and is moving toward the Great Lakes. The low pressure at the surface and fairly tightly wound up, so a lot of wind on the backside of this low pressure system and, of course, inclement weather. And we are expecting a total mix of everything you can imagine today, with the heaviest potential for accumulating snowfall across the northeastern part of the state. And then as we go into Sunday, all that activity starts to push to the east as high pressure becomes firmly in control. We're going to be dealing with more of a Pacific high pressure system instead of Arctic, so even though it's going to cool down not significantly, you can see the snowfall exiting out of our region, particularly early in the morning. And then we see the day on Monday, another trough starting to make its way into the western United States. We do show surface low pressure system over the Texas Panhandle, but there's just not a lot of moisture. It's a pretty weak low pressure system. So most of the activity is going to remain up into the northwestern one quarter of the United States, and of course the heavy precipitation across the eastern seaboard. On Tuesday, that trough starts to make some inroads, deepens a little bit. We start to show surface low developing in the southwestern United States and the Texas Panhandle. That's going to start to move some moisture toward the north, and we will start to see some breakout of some flurry activity, particularly across the northern Rockies and the Plains regions. And then as we go on the day Wednesday, this system starts to progress more in an easterly fashion. Surface low pressure system firmly in control over the Texas Panhandle and over Arkansas, and this will really pump the moisture up into the eastern Corn Belt. So we're going to see a big area of thunderstorm activity with lighter snow bands to the north of it. And then as we go on the day on Thursday, the system makes more progress toward the eastern United States. Low pressure system up over northeastern portions of Ohio. This will really generate some significant moisture right over the same areas that have been inundated with precipitation. Further to the west, we're looking at some possible accumulating snowfall for southeastern Nebraska, but more importantly, on Friday, we see high pressure system building into our region. Warmer temperatures are in store as most of the activity is focused in the western United States with surface lows developing and a big storm system coming on shore. And this system is projected to make inroads into our region as we go into late next week and the following week. So we look at the 8 to 14 day forecast. It kind of picks the feature up with the below normal temperatures associated with this low pressure system. And in terms of precipitation, the first wave comes out early in the period, particularly in the Sunday through Tuesday time period responsible for this heavy precipitation. We may see some significant accumulations of snowfall in portions of eastern Nebraska, and then the second system will quickly follow its heel about 2 or 3 days later. And then after that, the models do indicate the potential for some very warm temperatures building in the western United States and moving into our region as we move into the month of March.